So hello and welcome to the Virtual Solstice podcast number 10. I am your usual host, King Khada. You can find me over at all the socials and primarily on Twitch with King_Khada. Then we're here with our usual host, Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna, also known as the Cuddly on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, but mostly Twitch and Twitter.
And then we also have our third usual host, Snow.
Hi, I'm 10 gallons of milk.
Fantastic. And then our guest for today's episode, which is Vanilla.
That is me. You can find me at Vanilla BDSM on Twitch.
It's good to have you, Vanilla.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have like a lot of fun, especially with people knowing you with that username.
Yeah. It's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good time.
Oh no, I had forgotten about that song.
Yeah, I know a lot of people forget about that. And listen, spicy take, Owl City.
Oh, phenomenal band.
It's pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people here in
Like,
Owl City.
They had two great albums, one of which had Fireflies on it. Like, I honestly think that is a very good album.
And what, 10 million firebugs, or what was it?
Fireflies. That's
Is it still Fireflies?
Yeah, it's just Fireflies.
Fireflies? No, lightning bugs. They're lightning bugs. That's the line. It's lightning bugs. Come on. I did like an old project in 7th grade that had to do with that. I had to remember.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I want to hear more on that.
Right.
Because the line goes, you would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies. Not if 10 million lightning bugs.
But which one is lightning bugs?
No.
There's a
he
follow-up.
said lightning bugs later in that song.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But the line
it is
that
another
he was
verse
referencing,
that he does say lightning bugs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
but the line that he was just referencing, it says fireflies. And
Lightning
that's
bugs,
the point that I'm
something about
trying to
hugs.
make. You can
Listen,
tell me I'm wrong
Owl
all you
City
want, but
isn't,
that is the one point I was trying to make.
Owl City isn't lyrical genius.
Yes.
You would not believe your eyes. 10 million fireflies.
Can you trust your eyes?
No. Nobody can trust their eyes. Good.
What even are French fries?
Ground up fireflies. New at McDonald's, glowing French fries.
Okay, so with that, our first subject is Apex Legends.
Yeah.
So with today's recording, Apex Legends has been out for about 4 to 5 days, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say about 5 days.
And yeah, so it's a release that kind of came out of nowhere, or surprised a lot of people. There wasn't much press on it. The developers, which is Respawn, they're of course published by EA, just released it, like pretty much, again, like no big development on it, just released it, did a huge marketing push and campaign for it. They're like the primary ads playing everywhere, and it's been really successful so far. We can't say anything long term, but the facts right now is that it's been the number one played game, especially free to play on Twitch and just normal numbers as of this week.
Taking down Fortnite.
It is free.
Yeah, it's.
Should I download this? Should I play this?
I mean, you'll have to see.
Oh nope, never mind. It needs Origin.
Yeah.
I refuse to have the cancer that is Origin infest my computer.
It loves to crash.
But yeah. So main point is that it has been a huge success, and so far, primarily the reason right now it is another battle royale. It is free to play, and I think a lot of it is very fluid because Respawn is a team that was apparently they were working on Titanfall 3, and we still don't know any word on that. It seems like they were working on what was originally Titanfall 3, and then in the middle of development they switched it to what Apex Legends is right now, which is just it's free to play battle royale because that clearly does better on the market. And for everything that it is, most success again comes with like fluid control and also trying to be original, or at least doing like different things on the formula that's already out there.
Well, it's kind of funny that you bring that up because like they still implement like a lot of the things that Fortnite has, in the sense of you've got armor that you can renew, health that you can also heal up, which you're talking about with the Division 2 beta. But they still have the ring implemented to kind of push teams together.
Yep.
Which I really am not a fan of. I think that's one of the things that I really don't like about the new Battle Royale, like, sort of formula that everything has been following.
Yeah, I mean, that's also been, for entire, just them in general, what I typically don't like in Battle Royales is that there's too much, like, little action. In the form of that, a lot of it, you have your time where you're choosing where to drop, which is, for me, is downtime. Like, yes, I get it, it's strategic, but it's still downtime. Then all the time that you spend, looting, like scattering, like, some people get like adrenaline, like, oh, what's my RNG gonna be now? But for me, it's a lot of time that you're, wasting looking for those resources, and then trying to find someone. The map is usually on most battle royales like quite big, and yes, you get the circle coming in closer, but every single one has felt way too slow. You still get such a huge disparity of like where people are, and a lot of times it's like sniper duels. Like, you can get shotguns and everything, but how often do you get close to people if the map is huge? The answer is almost never.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like a battle royale, like especially with this one, the way it's structured, would be really good if they had like 5 teams of 3 on a much smaller map.
Yeah, no, that can definitely be done. You can have like more team battles, and you can even have like solo areas, but it'd be better for them, instead of focusing on such, like huge amount of players and huge map, to do maybe like you release it with 3 different maps, maybe of even varying sizes and varying numbers of players. So you can get the variety. You can get the people, like, because personally,
you can choose like different queues of like battle size. Yeah,
and that's what I want to see in the game. Like for me, if I were to play a battle royale, I want to have that smaller map, and you can still do it with a fair amount of people, and do squads or solos, and limit that. Let's say like the small map is 30 people, the medium one is 60, the big one is 100. If you have that variety in that way, just in numbers, it makes it way more accessible, I think, for a lot of people that want to get into the formula.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, up until now, we've had a lot of first-person shooters where you can team up, like Call of Duty, Titanfall, where it's just one side versus the other on a small map, and you play for 10 minutes. And so I think if Battle Royales decided to mix together the large queue with that kind of feel back with Call of Duty, then they'd get a lot more of the player base.
Yeah, and with Apex Legends, right now they've, even as popular as it is, they've limited themselves in the terms of like it's always squads, you can't do solos, and there's quite a few things that you can't do from the others. So in future updates, if they're already doing well, I think it'd be really smart to focus on that, doing different numbers, and then giving the modes that are kind of already available to people. So you've obviously you played Apex Legends. I've haven't played it myself. I've just seen like the news articles and some gameplay. Anna, Snow, are you both even aware?
I'm so tired of battle royales. They all look the same. They all take 12 years, and there's nothing to do while you play them. I'm just done with this trend, man. I'm down with more MOBAs. You want to put more MOBAs out? Knock yourself out. More arena shooters? Sure. Get another one of those.
I mean,
battle royales just.
And that's what's sad. I mean, at least with the arena shooters. Like, I mean, the last one, which was Lawbreakers, that tried to really get in there, completely failed really early. And MOBAs, they again like have gone like up and down, but they've eventually disappeared just because the MOBAs that are played are just League and Dota, and they're so big that everything else again kind of dies off. We saw with Paragon. There's another one that I played years ago that I can't remember the name, but there's been multiple examples.
I've honestly been in the same opinion about battle royales. Like, I played Fortnite twice and was like, I absolutely hate this. But I honestly kind of like Apex Legends just because it handles completely different. It's really smooth. It's really clean. They've got a unique ping system, so you can, like Lainey's saying in chat, you can differentiate between like if there's a person there, or you can ping certain attachments that are laying on the ground for your team to find. It just, I don't know, it feels a lot more like a shoot and loot mixed with a battle royale.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I might again with everyone might have to give it a try myself. Because yeah, there is a lot unique about it. Does anyone have any thoughts on just the battle royale genre in general?
Fuck Fortnite. That's about it.
I'm gonna second that.
All right, I'll third that. Anna?
Fourth.
Such an enthusiastic.
Well, we've reached a consensus. Fortnite is bad. Apex Legends is basically Fortnite. Therefore, Apex Legends is bad.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I didn't even know what Apex Legends was until you explained to me that it was Battle Royale.
Yeah, like, I was like, ooh, Apex Legends looks interesting. I look it up, and it's like Battle Royale, and I'm like, oh. Interest level dropping.
I mean,
but it's made by Titanfall.
But anything that has Legends in the name, right?
Oh
my God, it's
Titanfall
Legends.
Is
I'm
so
a legend.
You are a legend, Kevin.
Oh my gosh, this game was made for me.
No, but for real, I mean, you have League, and it's just like, oh yeah, and now it's just like,
League of Legends.
Oh, that's me.
I'm an Apex Legend.
I'm a League of Legends.
All right, well then, I guess we can move on to the next topic, which Vanilla sort of mentioned earlier, which is the Division 2 private beta. So, as of now, the Division 2 private beta was just going on. We've had 3 days of it, and so far, I'm the one that's played it. Has anyone else played it? No?
I think that's a no.
Yeah, okay. All right. So for the Division 2, it's pretty big on the world of looter shooters. It is pretty highly anticipated. And so far my thoughts are very good. Like, you have Anthem, which is as of this recording soon to come out next week for early access. And then you have the Division 2, which is planned to release in about a month. Now, the beta itself, first, just in terms of comparison from the Division 1, has been very positive. The Division 1 was another case similar to Destiny, where and Siege, where its first year of release was pretty bad. And after getting feedback from the community and everything, they improved the game to a point where people actually went back and played it, and it was an enjoyable time. So, Division, no different. First update, there was like a lot of issues with the Dark Zone and how it worked, and a lot of issues with the enemies feeling bullet spongy. That you just shoot a ton and it wasn't like satisfying. And that's still like an issue that was prevalent even now, right before Division's 2 release. Like end game still felt like you're just bullet sponging and trying to hit people, and it wasn't satisfying. Now, the Division 2 beta so far has I think done 2 times as more skills, so like more variety in your character. And not only that, but endgame gives you a signature weapon. So now it's not only do you have 2 weapons that you have in your slot, a pistol of some kind, but you also have a signature weapon, which is like really special. So like a sniper rifle that will like one shot anything with a headshot. There's a explosive crossbow and a grenade launcher from what we've seen so far in the beta. There's probably more that we haven't seen because a lot was closed off for us. But in terms of skill, there was 2 times as much. A lot of that we didn't have access for, but you can at least see in what they have planned for the game. Now, they definitely made it more satisfying because enemies don't just simply keep rushing you. A lot of the issue with the first one is you shoot, let's say, like a shotgunner that's running up at you. That's what they're meant to do. And it just wouldn't do anything, and you'd still like take damage and die. Whereas now, if you shoot back with a shotgun, they stagger. Like it's just such a small thing that kind of needs to happen. Like if you shoot someone with a shotgun, they shouldn't just keep running. Oh no, they have armor. No, what?
Yeah, no, stagger's a huge thing in games that completely changes it.
So that, and then also with some changes on armor, like makes it really satisfying to just like use and play the game way better. And they also did a change of health, because on Division 1 it was always just you have 3 bars of health, and if you lose one, you need like some kind of healing to go back up. Well, now you have a single health bar, which is really small, and then you have your armor. And armor, like, it's kind of separated in chunks, but it's really, like, that doesn't matter. It's a single bar that you lose.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's pretty realistic. A real person's health bar isn't that big.
Yeah. And it's pretty good, too, because you have abilities that can repair your armor, but primarily you have, like, armor kits so that in the middle of combat, you need to use it. And
a real person's health bar will take about 1 bullet from anything.
Yeah, but that's how they do it. Like, they really punish you. Like, yeah, you can take quite a bit of chunk of damage, like, first while rushing, but as soon as you get to your health, you're done. If you're not in cover, you're done.
Yeah.
which is quite a good thing that I was saying, is that, like, you can repair your armor over time if you're still taking cover and, like, kill yourself, but they really do punish, like, the running and gunning.
Oh, boy, just what I wanted.
No, I mean, you can still strategic. Like, my favorite, this is what was interesting, is like, yeah, you can use, your snipers and like everything to do a lot, but even doing the shotgun, if you have somebody else, like just playing with 2 people, okay, so with 2 people, one person's like doing assault rifle, like normal gameplay, I could use a shotgun, move from cover to cover, shoot people, like flanking them over and over again, and it was really satisfying, and it's viable. Like, there's a lot more viability in everything. It's more satisfying. They fixed like the health system. They even gave a taste of like endgame on how it's supposed to be, and it was still really challenging and satisfying at the same time. Which is just it's good to hear, because for me, the Division 1, I only got to play, like, I didn't even finish the campaign, to be honest. It was like, yeah, it was fun for a little bit, but it quickly got boring. While playing just the private beta, as soon as I finished, I was like, I want to play more. This was really good. And I can only like look forward into what they're gonna be doing with it, because it seems like it's gonna be pretty successful. And they do have a roadmap as well.
My one complaint, just from watching you stream it, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not a fan of third-person shooters. It just feels weird to me.
Yeah, honestly, shooting in a lot of third-person shooters just feels like weird, because like your instinct is that bullets come out of your camera, so it's weird for them not
and if
to.
And if you're like hiding behind cover, you shouldn't be able to see everyone that's like out in front of you if you're behind cover.
And that's why I play Warframe melee only.
But I mean, that's like cover shooters in general. And at the very least, what I can say to you is maybe just play the sniper, because when you use a sniper, you go to the scope. That turns first person.
Yeah. That's what I do whenever I play CSGO and stuff like that, is I want to be able to like aim down a sight and have it be from a first-person perspective.
Yeah, and you can also still get there. There's a lot of different scopes that will get you in. Like, it's not just snipers. Like, you can put, like, let's say, like a 4x scope on a decent, like, assault rifle and still use it and be aimed, like, first person.
But what about a pistol, though?
Pistol, no. I don't think. I mean,
give me a 16x scope on a
no,
pistol.
You might actually. Like, I think. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think you can like put. Mm-hmm. No, but I think you can put like a 12x scope and like a Magnum or something. Like, it'd be ridiculous and probably not work, but.
Oh, that'd be really
something
fun.
that confuses me is that scopes in video games increase the accuracy of your weapon. That's not how scopes work.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the one issue that I got in multiple chats, not even just mine, was using the LMG in Division 2. The more you fired, the more accurate it got.
I mean, to be fair, some games are like that, but
I know
in real life, just like, it just gets way worse.
Yeah, but it was just everyone's like using like the big think, like, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one thing that I forgot to mention. Right before I keep going about the Division 2, but this had to do with the Apex Legends, that it is published by EA. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about, since it was so recent, like Anthem versus Apex Legends, because both are published by EA, and generally the reception has been, oh no, I'm so worried about Anthem. I don't think I can't play this. Oh no, it's going to be terrible. Apex Legends, oh my god, it's such a great game. I love it. It's been so refreshing. Such a great battle royale.
Which is funny because it looked like Anthem was much more like in-depth produced than Apex was.
And let me tell you, and exactly, it's again like bias of what the gaming consumers are today. Which is if it's free or not. Anthem is a $60 release. Apex Legends is free. Even though it was EA, people forgot that it's EA. Oh my god, I can download for free and play this. Oh, it's so fun to get with friends. Well, Anthem.
Yeah, I was gonna say it lets you get with friends, and that adds to the gaming experience. So like you can be like, oh, this person's never tried it before. We'll take 10 minutes and download it, and it costs you nothing, and you can play with us for the night if you want to.
And that's what kills me. It's just like that people can't, like, that's fine. It's just people just forget that it's EA at that point. Like Apex Legends, I've seen like it's full of microtransactions in your loot boxes and all that shit. But
it's like Overwatch in terms of skins and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just such a disparity of it, and it does get to me a little bit. That you can just forget, but I don't care. Just playing with friends and it's free.
Well, it seems like, I mean, it's taking a bunch of the concepts that popular games that are out right now have used, and just kind of stuffing it into a free, like slightly underdeveloped, I will say, platform, but it's still very fun. But you get a lot better, like more quality gaming experience on a game that's not free to play, I've found.
Anna, Snow, do you have any thoughts?
Sorry, I'm just like internally thinking about like what a pyramid-shaped burger would look like. My thoughts slightly wandered. I don't even know where I got on this train of thought because I was engaged. I was on the thought process. I was like,
okay.
I was following the conversation and my mind went somewhere. I don't know where.
That'd be hard to get like a good bun to meat ratio.
It would.
It'd be like an asymmetric bun.
You would have to have a smaller bun on the bottom and like a thicker bun on the top.
Yeah, or like larger bun on the outside bottom and thin on the inside.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's an experience.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, next time you become a baker, you can let us know. Right, well then back with like the Division 2, I don't think I have anything like extra to add other than if anyone else has seen anything else and want to mention something.
Not in particular, no.
All right. Then let's move on, and we might get back on this, to Kingdom Hearts 3. So, first off, where does everyone stand on Kingdom Hearts 3? Who's played it? Who's been a fan? And what, where do you stand?
I have seen so many advertisements for it, I cannot escape it. I'm trying to escape it. I can't.
I actually haven't seen any advertisement for it.
No, I've also seen
But I've just heard a lot of people talk, and I have watched Kevin stream it.
Okay. And Anna?
I've never played a game before, and I haven't played this one, but I have been watching my brother play it.
Oh, okay.
And I will say that the Let It Go scene made me cry a lot yesterday, because I already love that song and the scene from the movie, and it was even more beautiful in the game than it was in the movie.
Wow.
And I cried.
God, I have to go look that up now.
All right. And yeah, and obviously I played a little bit of it, but only the first 2 worlds. No, 3. The first 3 worlds. I haven't made it past that. So, so with that knowledge, how I like to introduce it is first, and I haven't been a fan of the series at all. I came in blind. So someone that came in blind to the series, I get it that it's like, sort of like a JRPG, but in the Disney universe. So I was prepared for that. Now my problem was because I didn't enjoy it. I thought it, together with Fallout 76, it's been my second regret of a purchase.
Ooh.
But let me explain why.
That's a pretty hot take.
That is a hot
let me
take.
explain why. Yeah, that's why I need to explain here, because I was legitimately, because of everyone being so praiseworthy, like, oh my god, I've been waiting 14 years. This is it's gonna be fantastic. What an experience! I can't wait. That I wasn't like oh my god, it's gonna be hype, because I had no idea, but I was still expecting a pleasant surprise, but didn't get that at all. So my first issue, and there's a lot of issues, is pacing. The pacing is absolutely awful. I get it that it's like a story-based game, but the problem is you're first given so much exposition. The tutorial world, which is like Olympus, was like sort of decently paced, but then as soon as you get into Tangled, it's like they give you like a huge scene of just basically what the movie was, with no change of lines, to then being, after like the initial cutscenes, having like 25 minutes of gameplay or half an hour before the next one, and then you fight a boss, and then there's more like 15 minutes of cutscenes. And my problem also with the cutscenes is that they don't make a new story. Like if you're putting on a Disney universe, the only people that are sort of unique is Donald and Goofy, which are your main partners, but their lines are usually the same as well. And it's not helpful. Like a lot of JRPGs, have like the same lines, but it's more like combat, while Donald's always just talking about, oh, this place is great for some ingredients. Like, I'm exploring, I understand. Can you not say that? But then, with that pacing, like, and it keeps going with like Twilight Town. It's like you don't get a consistent amount of story with your gameplay. And another big issue is with the villains. Like, I don't care what you think about like the Kingdom Hearts story in general. The fact that villains just appear out of nowhere, just to talk and create some bullshit exposition and like lead your main carriage somewhere, I absolutely hate. Like, if you're gonna be a bad guy, like, have him be a bad guy. Don't give him like ultimate teleportation powers. Like, a big plot point is whatever, like Maleficent and Pete like keep appearing looking for something. It's like, you can fucking teleport anywhere. Just teleport to where you need to go and grab that shit. Like, I don't understand.
They don't know where they need to go.
It's just,
yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
It's I feel like there's so many plot holes and none of it also makes sense. Like for me, it's also been extremely convoluted. I feel like even if you watched like, this is what happened on the first game, like they don't give you anything about what happened in the first game. Literally their lines is like, oh, you should have totally known what went in the first game, because they're like, oh, but then remember when like Xehanort and whoever the fuck like did that one thing to you, Sora? And like, no, you assumed I played the first game. I get it, but like, if you're gonna be a story-based game and you're gonna continue the story, then maybe fucking use a flashback once or twice. Like, you're already spending 15 minutes in my cutscene. Give me 2 minutes of flashback.
It actually, watching you play it, it kind of reminded me of, do you ever play Legend of Zelda Wind Waker? The one where you sail around?
Yes.
It actually reminded me a lot of that, with less free world roaming.
Yeah. And I loved the shit out of Wind Waker.
Wind Waker is probably one of my favorite games ever made.
Yeah, because even though you get, like, technically you're going to say, like, oh, a lot of, like, time, like, wasted going around the sea, it's not even, like, comparing to Breath of the Wild, because Wind Waker, I think, is this, the biggest, like, exploring one aside from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of people do, it's kind of like the niche one that you love. Some people found it boring, but I thought there was quite a bit to do in the sea and your initial exploration. Like, there's definitely stuff to do out there, and whenever you do find some things, you do get like a command where you can fast travel essentially to other places, but it's very neat to explore and find like the secret islands and all that. And yeah, like the thing with it's extremely linear, and even the places that feel big, when it's like to explore, like you're not really rewarded much by exploration too. That's what I felt was terrible about it, is like, oh, there's like this one obvious area that from the linear map that's probably going to have something over there. What is it? Oh, it's a treasure with a single potion. Wow, it's so special.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, then just make them more scattered around the map, like, and make them, I guess, less efficient in combat, just so you can feel like you're getting more out of the experience. And now we're gonna talk about combat. So that was another issue that I had, is the controls. I they can be unique, but I'm gonna compare them to Dark Souls. Because in Dark Souls, when I played the first one originally, like years and years ago when it released, while it was a bit weird, it took me like an hour to be like, oh, okay, like I kind of understand, like this is different, but it works. While with Kingdom Hearts, it took me like 4 hours to barely be like, okay, I can sort of get the hang of this. It feels extremely awkward. And not only that, but like the general combat, and what you need to do, they included like this fluid motion thing where you can go on walls and other things and do more, but it still feels clunky. It's called fluid motion, but yet it's still clunky. Like you can combo certain things, but you can't continue it like more like you wanted. Like if you're gonna continue it, then it should have been something like similar to the Arkham games, where you can chain them easier. You didn't get that at all. And that was also an issue that I had with combat, is that a lot of the time, or not a lot of the time, like literally every time combat is introduced, it doesn't feel like something that's fun for you to do, that you need to get through. It feels like it's there just to annoy the shit out of you. Like, other games, when I explore the world and I'm like killing enemies, like I don't know, where they're spawning from. They come from like different areas. It's like an obstacle that I'm doing to get to my objective, and I feel good doing it. Well, Kingdom Hearts is just like, okay, I'm moving past like my other objective that's just like talking to this person, and oh no, combat, they sprung from everywhere at once, and you gotta kill them, and you do all these big moves, and it's like one or two enemies that are always left that you then gotta go over there and mash X. And it wastes my time, and it feels boring as shit. And And then it's also like with the comment, like while initially like the pressing Y thing like seems cool, like, oh, you can use this Disney ride and you can use this ability, feels cool. It often it feels way too long, like another cutscene, right? And it doesn't do as much of a big effect as you want in the area. It's like I use like carousel. It's like this huge AoE thing. It's gonna kill everything. It gets everyone down to half health, and it took me like fucking 30 seconds to do. While you,
well, to be fair, that's kind of the JRPG trope.
I mean,
is like all of a sudden here's all these enemies. Now go kick.
But
their ass.
I'll compare to the only other modern JRPG that I play, which is the Final Fantasy, I think 15 with the four guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So compared to that was infinitely way better. Like I only didn't continue it just because of like time constraint, because again it is like, you know, you're invested with time in it. But I was immersed in that one because all the teleportation, once you get used to it, like that one was another one that kind of felt clunky, but as soon as you got used to it, like you can do a lot of combos. It feels nice. You can also, here's a big thing, you can also later get skills to play as the other characters. You can never play as Goofy. You can never play as Donald.
Yeah.
It's always Sora.
I do feel like that's where Kingdom Hearts is lacking.
Yeah, and
is that you are stuck only controlling Sora and not the other two.
Yeah, and that like really like limits your gameplay, because in Final Fantasy, like as soon as I was like, oh my god, I want to play as, Prompto. I got the skill, I upgraded him so I can be like the ranger dude, and it's really fun to do. Like it fit my play style, and it was great. Why you can't do that? I can't play as the tank that's Goofy. I can't play as the mage that is Donald. I'm playing as motherfucker key-winning Sora the whole time. And even though you get different keyblades and they change up the playstyle a little bit, you're
still kind of stuck in that fighter role.
And still mashing X. There's no other combo system.
Press every button at once faster.
And you can call me spoiled because I love the Platinum games. I love Bayonetta. I love Devil May Cry's. But if you're going to do combat, like it should feel fun to do.
It's sort of like, have you ever played Shadow of Mordor?
No, not yet. I have them.
It's
played them.
Sort of like click or click faster or click with the other key. And it's like, this isn't combat.
Yeah. Well, there's like a certain skill level that combat should take.
Yeah.
That I feel like Kingdom Hearts kind of lacks. It's more like run away and then run towards them and mash buttons, which may appeal to a lot of people, but not to people that like invest a lot of time in and opinion in combat.
And then another point that I wanted to make on why I didn't like it is, one, I understand that it's Disney. I know that it's going to be family friendly. However, I wanted it to still feel goofy. You know, like I wanted to laugh. I want to enjoy the story. But again, most of it is just like, oh, but this thing sort of happened. Haha, don't you remember? Instead of giving charm. Everyone felt stale. And again, the only person from the tutorial area that I thought had any personality was Hades. And he was given also like little screen
Hades
time.
is Bay.
Yeah, it
More like Hades
so it's just
babies.
I'd have Hades babies.
but
no, I think that might also come from not having played the other games, because if they're relying a lot on nostalgia, which it seems like they were in the story for this one, then it like kind of cripples having a new player base join in on Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, and that's something that's different. Like I can compare another game that was highly waited upon and then got released, which was Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, because after the second one it took 10 years for them to release it, and I was a fan. And as a fan, and this has got like a lot of negative reviews. Well, Kingdom Hearts, like overall that I've seen, has been pretty positive, and it's sold a lot in Japan. Is like it got negative reviews, but I enjoyed it for it being like a different type of game. But I was disappointed that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. But again, still like core wise, like if you take that away as a game itself, it was really fun. It was a good experience. It was creative, like building everything.
Yeah,
was
like
really
it's a gorgeous
customizable.
game, and it works well.
Yeah, and even
But,
for
yeah.
all its flaws, like it still did a lot of things right. While I just feel like literally everything in Kingdom Hearts has been a roller coaster downhill.
Wowie.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely a hot take, but I see your reasoning behind it.
Yeah, and it's good. Also, timing with this is that another like big person, of course, that does some game reviews is Donkey, and he did one also released as today's recording. That is pretty similar to my experience and my opinion that it just was not fun. Yeah. Does anyone else have any thoughts on it?
Nope.
Kingdom Hearts holds a special place in my heart because I know so little about it. I know basically nothing.
So, why?
So why does it hold a special place?
Because
in
I
your heart?
know so little about it, and yet I see so much about it. It's weird.
So much of it.
That's fair.
It's like Frozen for me.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
years after.
Did you never see Frozen?
No, I've never seen Frozen.
I've never seen The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars.
What?
Oh, okay, that's a whole other. Whoa.
That's a whole lot of sin
Yeah.
right there.
Never seen
Yeah,
any
that
of the
one-
Lord of the Ring movies, any of the Star Wars movies. I haven't participated in a lot of culture, but I know.
And yet you're the cult leader. Wow.
Actually, you know what? I don't really know anything about Kingdom Hearts at all. I don't know any characters. I don't know the plot.
Do you know anything about Disney?
I do know Disney.
Then you know some of the
Yeah,
characters.
Yeah, there
okay.
you go.
Like, I haven't seen most Disney
yeah.
movies either, actually. Like, name a Disney movie, odds are I haven't seen it, besides Frozen. And,
Tangled.
Oh my god. All right. Well, then I think we can move on to the next topic,
yeah.
which is going to be another review, but on Resident Evil 2, the remake, 2019 remake. So we talked about the demo before, in I think it was 2 podcasts ago. But now it's been, fully released. A lot of people have played it. I haven't finished it myself, but I've played a lot of the game enough to kind of give my review. What has everyone's experience with it been so far? Like what?
I mean, I watched you play it.
Okay.
haven't seen anything about it.
Okay.
I am
Anna?
fucking blind 100%.
Okay. And
Okay.
what about you?
I don't know.
You
Not
don't
much.
know. You don't
No.
know. All right. Well, then let me start with my experience and what it is. So Resident Evil 2 so far has been really good for me. I have absolutely loved it. So first, it, like I said before about the demos, that it seemed like a modern control-wise take on an old game, and that blended perfectly for me. It's like playing on standard as a first playthrough felt like the right amount of challenge. You have a lot of limited resources, and you gotta know how to use your bullets. I used a lot of it wrong during the early games, struggled in the middle, and like now that I'm later on it, I do have like a decent amount of bullets, but and again, I missed a ton of shit too. Like there's a lot of optional things that you can do to get your more weapons, to get more upgrades. And again, I think there's a really nice balance of like going, like backtracking to areas as you solve puzzles, as you get like new things and knowing where they go. It's just like the perfect blend of challenge, especially like everything has durability too. Like even your melee weapon, it's not like Resident Evil 5 where you always have a knife. Like, okay, if you're fucked, you can take one zombie at a time. Like, no, your knife has a durability, and it's always even risky to go and use it on a zombie unless you're shot at a few times and it's on the ground. So it's really nice. It's also, I think, the right amount of gore too, and the right amount of jump scares. Because it's still like a horror game, and even though there's still sometimes like when it's cheesy, like I was still at the edge of my seat, like, oh, what am I gonna do? Some things caught me off guard at the right time. There's really nice pacing between those, and everything that happened and where like zombies appear from. The audio is also stellar. If you turn on like the 3D, because there's even an option doing like 3D sound, that was fantastic. Like just being able to like go down the stairs, even though I knew there was a zombie that I kind of put boards up. Every time it was like, oh fuck, it was like right behind me. Damn it, like it's just really well crafted horror game. And even though it still plays in that like very linear place, you don't have much exploration. Still felt
honestly
huge, and
I feel like this world needs more linear games, because too many games are trying to do the whole exploration thing now. It's like, god damn it, guys, just make a linear game for once.
No, I mean, you can do it right. Like I feel like Resident Evil 2 did very great last year. I think God of War 3 did it really right, where you have like a sense of exploration, but it's still quite linear when you go to the new areas. Like there's a really nice balance you can do with like a linear game, but still do some exploration. And there's definitely room to do that.
Yeah, well, and I feel like with certain games, there's different amounts of linear gameplay that it should have. Like with horror games, it should be relatively linear with a small sense of exploration, so that it can walk you through the correct pacing for the right scares, the right, game feel and all of that. But with something like, say, Skyrim, the whole point is that you can make your own path with the adventure gameplay, which I think also has merit.
Yeah. And the most recent examples is like Breath of the Wild was uniquely praised and everything is for doing the right amount of exploration, having the right amount of things placed with the Korok seeds. In the opposite spectrum is, I think now with Resident Evil 2, it's just done the right amount of linearity with your exploration within the police station. And yeah, I think it's just been a really well crafted game, and it really surprised me because I was going into it like, expecting a good experience, and I got way more than that. So yeah, it's just been very great. Does anyone have any more thoughts on Resident Evil 2?
I don't really play horror games in general, but I am interested in Resident Evil 2. Because it just seems like well made, I guess, as a game in general, and not just out to spook ya through like cheap jump scares, etc. So I've definitely got my eyes on it. I'm looking at it. I probably won't get it because I never buy anything. But it looks good.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Dead Space with the feel and the combat,
and that's why I like it. That's why I like it, because it's like not just like I gotta spook ya.
Yeah, there's some actual like psychological horror to it too.
Yeah, and that's actually a good comparison that I was thinking about, but I didn't mention, is like comparing that to Dead Space, and I would say even like Dead Space 2. It definitely feels like a modern and different Dead Space 1. Like still very limited, like on like Dead Space was much more fluid, but they still limit you in everything with your movement. Like you still got the quick turnaround, like even though it's modern, like it still takes a bit to run like the other direction unless you use like the backwards like B motion. And yeah, I think it is a very good balance in that as well. I guess the only thing that I felt would have maybe made my experience better and my level of gameplay is, if you kill zombies, like sometimes they drop maybe a little bit of ammo, for like your handgun or something like that. But at the same time, I'm okay with it. Like, yeah, it should have been a little bit better for me, but it does still make the game challenging enough because they drop a certain amount of enemies. You know, every enemy is set to a different event, or when you do something else, they spawn at different places. So it does make you, you know, now knowing that if you do like a second playthrough, which it does have like some replayability by doing harder difficulties or speed runs and things like that, that you go through like the right strategy and like, okay, well, these ones I'm not going to kill because, you know, you can easily avoid them, or be like, okay, no, these I have to kill because I'm going to be coming back here. I can't have, you know, a horde of zombies on the way.
Yeah.
So everything that I think is very nice of the game. All right, and then the other last topic that we have on the list is the Subnautica Below Zero solo expansion. Has anyone here played Subnautica?
It's another one of those games that I would play if I spent money.
Of course.
I've played a little bit of it.
Okay, and Anna, have you done anything with it?
No.
No, you haven't? Okay. Yeah, I've been not harassed, but pushed to play Subnautica a lot. And I know I've seen, you know, gameplay and all that, and I get it's you know, it's a nice mix between your exploration, deep sea, sort of feeling, well, Minecraft-esque in that sense that, you know, it's survival and you still gotta like craft things, or somewhat similar to like Ark or one of those games. But it does have like some horror elements too, like when you go to like the deep sea, or you get your sort of like submarine suit to go down, that it does have those aspects. And
oh shit!
You know,
sorry
it's
to interrupt, but Subnautica is actually on sale right now on Steam. Ooh.
I mean, by the release of this episode, it might be too late.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it is a good game, and it's very fleshed out, and it does have a lot that it offers. And with the Below Zero expansion, it's basically just making it like kind of wintry and adding new things to it. And has anyone seen anything for this newer update / solo expansion?
No.
No, yeah. Because I put it on the list just to kind of like mention it, and I guess to kind of make people aware, because most of the time I do have some experience, or I see gameplay of it. This, I'm not sure if we have like much to say it, but I did want to get out there that, hey, it did happen. And but so far, at least the reception has been pretty positive. It's just like, wow, more Subnautica that, you know, we sort of wanted. The only thing I think is weird is doing kind of a solo expansion, but I've also heard that it's short. So it's shorter than what people wanted it to be. It's about like 2 hours. So that's a little bit, I guess, on the sad spectrum. So, and it is priced at $20. So yeah, I can see why it's like, oh wow, it's very good, and more Subnautica. Like 2 hours is, yeah, definitely not enough to make that sort of a value
warrant. Yeah.
And since we have about 5 minutes left in the podcast, is there any like other topics that anyone wants to mention or kind of circle back on?
While we're recording this, the February Splatfest in Splatoon is going on, waffles versus pancakes, and I have a feeling that waffles is gonna win.
I'm waiting for a new MMO.
That's my prediction.
I want a new MMO so bad. Please.
Well then before we
come play Siege.
What is Siege?
All right, hang on.
Tom Clancy's
No!
Siege. Sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
But yeah, before we get into that, just you can talk a bit about the Splatfest, Anna.
That's really it. I just wanted to get my prediction out. Next week I can talk about who won.
Who won and how it went. Okay.
Mm.
Do you want to give any like info on like what the Splatfest is for people that don't know?
For those of you who don't know, once a month Splatoon hosts a special 24-hour event called a Splatfest, where you choose a team this month. The theme is pancakes versus waffles, and you choose what you're going to represent, and then you battle it out on the turf fields. I don't know how to
Okay, but like
describe them.
realistically, who would choose pancakes?
Exactly.
Like who among
That's true.
us would choose pancakes?
Waffles are better.
I'd choose
Pancakes are just
You're the
fake
what?
waffles with cells, without cells for syrup. Get out of here with that. Get out. Get out. Leave my podcast. Never come back.
Listen, I like pancakes and I like waffles, but there's definitely like better perks on waffles.
I mean, they're just two different things to me. They're completely different.
No,
They're
it
a breakfast food.
it's still
Like for
it's still
breakfast.
like
What would
They're
you want?
literally the
Pancakes or
same.
waffles?
because they're
I grew up with my great grandma's recipe for Scandinavian pancakes, and they are way better than any waffle.
Why not pour the batter for your
Okay.
Scandinavian pancake into a waffle iron and make it 40 times better?
Because then they're not thin
And
pancakes.
then they're waffles, which makes them better.
Exactly.
okay.
No?
Okay, but
Then
if
there's
it is like the
Scandinavian
batter,
waffles.
the magic of that batter, yeah, I guess
What?
turning into waffle could be better.
No.
Still, though, I can kind of understand if you have like some, like family recipe of something really good, then you're
If
kind
you
of,
have a family
you can't.
recipe, put it in a waffle iron.
No.
Why?
It's not the
Why?
same.
okay.
Because the point of great grandma's great grandma's pancakes are that you make them super thin, so you can just eat a
Why
bunch
would
of
you
them.
do that?
Because they taste
No, no, no,
better.
no, 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 no. You make thinner waffles.
That,
Well, but then
What?
that also ruin because you want the waffles to be
Just get a smaller
your
waffle
syrup holes.
iron. Make small waffles.
I mean, you can make smaller
Just
waffles. It will
have
never be as much as a
pancakes.
thin pancake, though. But then also, how do you eat like a thin pancake if you still want to put like syrup and stuff on it?
See, it's butter, cinnamon, and pure
You
maple
put
syrup.
butter, cinnamon, pure maple syrup on a waffle.
Yeah, because my thing is you can do like Nutella or condensed milk on top of waffles, and it's fantastic.
You can do it on pancakes
Okay,
too.
have you ever had a pancake with an egg and peanut butter and syrup?
Why would you put an egg on a waffle or a
I
pancake?
don't fucking know.
That sounds
But like,
awful.
I used to have like, they lived in my basement. I don't know how to describe what they were.
What?
Sort of like
I'm a little concerned
they
here.
sort of rented out our basement, kind of.
You sort of rented your basement.
I'm hoping these are
Yeah.
people.
They
Okay.
lived in our basement. Just one of them. They,
For a
Uh-huh.
second, I thought you were like about to say you had chickens in your basement or something
No,
like that.
That's what I was
because
thinking
No.
too. Yeah.
No,
And
anyways.
I was like, why are the chickens renting
No,
your basement?
Anyways, this person who lived in my basement ate waffles with eggs, peanut butter, and syrup on them, and I don't understand why.
That's so sad.
Maybe it's because they lived in our basement too long.
Why would you do that?
Oh my god. This can't. Well, I mean, I guess, we end this off with, like, waffles still win, because it's 3v1.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck you. Fuck your pancakes.
Hey, fuck
Fuck
you, buddy.
you.
My god. Good thing this is already rated M for mature. But,
Wait, it's PG-13. We only get one fuck. And there it
Oh,
goes.
no, no.
God, no.
That was the fourth one. How could you? Oh man. All right. Well, I think this is a good like ending spot. I think we just reached like the 1 hour. So let's close it out with again just reintroducing everybody and where you can find us. I've been your one of the main hosts, King Khada, and you can find me on Twitch and everywhere else on socials at King_Khada. And then Anna, of course.
I am Anna, also known as the Cuddly on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, but mostly Twitch and Twitter.
Yep. And then our buddy old pal Snow.
Hello. I am now 9.8 gallons of milk. I lost a little.
Yep, and our
Was it making your waffles?
Yep.
They take more milk than pancakes, you know.
yes, and our friend Vanilla.
That's me. You can find me at Vanilla BDSM on Twitch.
Hasta
Yep,
la
and then
vista,
just thank
pals.
you.
Have a good day. I'm clicking stop recording, so you better not ask me anything
Oof.
else.
Fantastic.
Bye.
Hey, Snow. Hey, Snow. You think pancakes are better than waffles, don't you?
All right, thank you for everybody for watching, and we shall see you next time.